They're both incredible suburbs, but Oro Valley and Vail are completely different in nature. Today, we're gonna check out some of the major differences between the two to figure out which one best fits your lifestyle. If you're new to this channel and want to learn everything from A to Z about living in Tucson, AZ, then click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Dustin Smith. My wife Jennifer and I have helped hundreds of people just like you move to and from Tucson, Arizona. So whether you're planning on moving in 12 days, 12 weeks, or 12 months, we got you covered. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email, and we'll help you make that smooth move to Tucson. So this video is meant for anybody looking into moving to the Tucson area and you kind of want to see some of the advantages or differences between some of the suburbs. So today we're doing the direct contrast between Vail and Oro Valley to kind of help you decide between those two suburbs. And down the road, we'll bring you some other suburb comparisons too, in case you're on the fence about some of the other ones. So if that sounds like it's gonna work for you, you're gonna wanna stick around for this video. First area of comparison right here we're gonna talk about is going to be just the general atmosphere, feelings, or a vibe of each suburb. So a lot of people, when they think of the Vail area, they think, of an area that's a little more spread out. Things are a little more open in the Vail area and still developing. So a lot more rural feeling in nature, especially when you get out to some of those further Vail communities off in the area. So Oro Valley being a little more well-established, a lot of the homes over there being a little bit older. They think, a lot more access in the Oro Valley area, a little more well-polished, well-planned, a lot of HOAs out there. So you have that master plan community feel where everything was kind of intentionally put together, very structured as it was, created and developed. So second area of comparison wanted to cover right here, just general housing and affordability. Now this is going to be a consideration for most people, what am I going to get if I spend some extra money, in one area versus the other? So what is, the typical home cost in each area? So when you're looking in the Vail area, I already mentioned there's a lot of new construction options, which actually can really help if you're financing your home, getting a rate buy down. These builders are offering some amazing rate buy downs off in the Vail area. There's just less of that in Oro Valley. Oro Valley being pretty well developed, they're just filling in the gaps. There's some new construction out there, but new construction popping up all over the Vail area. So when I looked this morning before I came out here to make this video, there's about 360 homes for sale in the Vail area. And I just included the 85641 zip code there because kind of, paying more attention to what's generally considered Vail. But a lot of people, if you're familiar, would criticize, hey, what about Rocking K? Because part of that is actually falling into a different zip code. So yes, I understand I'm missing a couple of those, but you're gonna have even more new construction options when you take into account that Rocking K area. Oro Valley, when I looked up that, it came through that there's about 250 homes for sale right now in Oro Valley, and your median asking price over there is going to be about $600,000 compared to the median asking price over in Vail, which is falling closer to about $413,000. So very, very different price ranges when you're comparing Vail to Oro Valley, and just general feels different. Oro Valley, a lot of older houses, a lot of well cared for homes. Some of them have been updated, but you do have a lot of homes that are in need of update on the real estate market out there, especially when you find them start falling into those lower prices. You may walk in there and see like, man, I'd really want to, redo the kitchen, all the flooring, windows, roof, some major ticket items on, some of those older homes. That does happen in the Vail area too, but generally just newer homes in the Vail area. In fact, 20 to 30 years ago, there really wasn't much in the Vail area. So when you're looking at homes in Vail, most of them are going to be less than 30 years old. A lot of them are going to be right around that 10-year mark. Next area of comparison, it's hard to talk about Vail at all if you don't talk about school district. So that's going to be one of the major things people talk to us about when they're picking Vail as their area. The Vail School District out there is A+ rated according to niche.com, and it's one of the top school districts in the entire state, so not just for the Tucson area. So definitely a big draw out to that area. But the Amphitheater School District in Oro Valley, it's pretty solid out there. They got a B+ rating according to niche.com. So when a lot of people are comparing school districts, they may, lean to Vail just because of its overall rating. But if they're balancing, lifestyle, and Oro Valley's got some of those amenities that they want a little bit more, bike tracks, shopping, you have the aquatic center out there, access to Catalina State Park, they might choose Oro Valley to kind of balance those things out. So definitely one of those areas I wanted to cover today. So fourth area of comparison for the day is going to be commute, or just general accessibility on this one. And this is one of the major criticisms we have when we show somebody the Vail area for the first time. A lot of people come back and just say it feels like it's too far out there. Now, it is a fast growing community, new things popping up all the time. A few years ago, they put a beautiful Safeway grocery store, which from what I've seen is one of the nicest Safeway grocery stores in the entire Tucson area. So, beautiful inside, some great, shopping options in there. And then the shopping plaza in general brought some, things out to the Vail area, some fast food options such as, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Marco's Pizza. You also have a Chase Bank right in there. You have a nail salon. So a lot of those, different amenities that you want in the shopping plaza came through. And a lot of those are highly rated too. So they've brought in some great businesses into that shopping plaza. And if that's not enough for you, you may have to travel over to the Rita Ranch area. So about another 10 to 15 minutes away from your more populated areas in Vail. You have Walmart over there, a lot more fast food options, Home Depot, TJ Maxx, Ross, things like that. Some great Mexican food options in the Rita Ranch area. If you're driving through there, definitely recommend checking out El Coronado or Rancho Rustico for a stop. Now, Oro Valley does have a lot of those things built in. So pretty much wherever you are in Oro Valley, you're not gonna be too far away from grocery stores, restaurants. In fact, Oro Valley has some great high-end dining options that you're just really not gonna find in the Vail area. There's some good local restaurants out in the Vail and Rita Ranch area, but Oro Valley is going to win in the case of high-end dining, especially since they also have access to the Catalina foothills a little bit easier than the Vail area. So even more there. A lot of people talk about, how far away is going to be a Whole Foods. A lot closer to Oro Valley than it is Vail. In fact, immediately south of Oro Valley, about 5 minutes away, you have Casa Adobes. Casa Adobes has a Whole Food, and you have another Whole Foods over in the Catalina foothills too. So off in that area. Major criticism with the commute over there in Oro Valley going to be Oracle Road. You got 3 lanes going each way, and it can still feel congested at times. And it's also famous among locals, especially for the traffic enforcement out in that area. So you do have a lot of more motorcycle cops out there, and it can be pretty crazy. I think this happens in every town though. Somebody gets pulled over, then everybody starts, driving really slow or rubbernecking to figure out what's going on with whoever got pulled over, or if there's an accident. It can really just slow traffic down even more, especially at those busy times of day. So, Vail's gonna get you to the airport a little bit faster, but Oro Valley, I think for your daily commutes, things are gonna be just a lot closer. All right, category number 5, our 5th area comparison is going to be outdoor lifestyle. Now, this is a major consideration for people looking to move to the Tucson area. We actually have a lot of people that move out here for retirement, trying to get away from colder weather. So what they're gonna do outside is definitely hot on their minds. So Vail is gonna have access to a lot of desert trails. So you have Arizona State Trust land all over the place. You have National Park, you have areas like Cienega Creek, the Rincon Mountains, some great areas to get boots on the ground and enjoy it. And the homes and lots out here can feel a little bit bigger. So that outdoor space in general is just gonna feel a little bit more open, and you're gonna have, in a lot of areas, beautiful mountain backdrops from your own backyard. So beautiful blue skies, those mountain backdrops just make sitting in your own yard feel a little bit more comfortable. And of course, just in general, since things are a little more spread out. You're gonna have less traffic, so less noise pollution. You have less commercial buildings in the Vail area too, so less light pollution. So if you're out at night staring at the stars, I'm gonna say Vail's gonna give you some better stargazing options in Oro Valley. Now, Oro Valley has some major advantages, depending on what it is that you wanna do. So a lot of that hiking I talked about in the Vail area, if you're comparing that to Catalina State Park has some amazing trails over there. So you might be drawn that direction if you want to go hit those trails regularly. But I think a lot of people that are getting out and hiking, they're not gonna mind commuting from Vail to Oro Valley or Oro Valley to Vail to enjoy some of those different trails. So that might not be the major consideration. Oro Valley is also gonna have more golf courses. So if golf is one of your considerations, more likely you're gonna be drawn to the Oro Valley area. Now there is a beautiful golf course in Vail, the Del Lago Golf Course. But just generally more options out there. A lot of homes have golf course views out in Oro Valley. Also, Oro Valley was said to have the best cycling infrastructure in all of Arizona. So quick access to the Tucson Loop with over 130 miles of trails that don't just go through Oro Valley, that pretty much weave through the entire Tucson area. A lot of wide shoulders out there, just overall a very bike friendly community. You'll have Honeybee Canyon down there. So much options as far as cycling and just enjoying outdoor stuff. A lot more parks in Oro Valley. So a lot of those master plan communities have built some beautiful parks, and even the town of Oro Valley itself. All right, just to give you a quick recap or summary of some of the major points that we talked about today, you might be more drawn to the Vail area. If you like the idea of homes that are a little bit newer and a little bit more affordable, maybe you like the idea of quiet desert living, or maybe you're drawn to having a little bit more open space, or even the school district, the A+ rated school district that draws in a lot of younger families out to the area. You might be more drawn to the Oro Valley idea if you like the idea of a well-established community. Things are already pretty much well built in there. You know what it's going to look like in the next 10 to 20 years because there's not a whole lot of gaps to fill in at this point. You might like the idea that Oro Valley has more luxury options for you. So if you're looking for that perfect luxury home for retirement or to move the family into, you're gonna find more of those in Oro Valley. You want some good high-end restaurants, you love your dining experiences, that's a big part of who you are. Oro Valley's got that right there for you, or your short drive over to the Catalina foothills. If golf is a major factor for you, more golf courses in Oro Valley. If you are a cycler, you have access to the loop and those wider shoulders off in the Oro Valley area. That's a major pull out there, and you still have your hiking with Catalina State Park too. So you get all of that in Oro Valley. So different things are definitely gonna pull you into one suburb or another, and I really hope that this video has been useful for that. So if you feel like there's something that we should have covered in today's video, let us know in the comments. We'd be happy to answer your questions, or just in general to get some input from you guys. What is your favorite suburb? Let's talk about it. Let's see what the community has to say about this, and that might actually be useful for people trying to make a decision on where they want to move in the greater Tucson area. And if you or someone you know is thinking about moving to or from Tucson, we'd love to be the agents to help you out. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, tap that bell for notifications, and we'll keep you updated on the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.